You're listening to the Preacher's Hour podcast,
a podcast that dives into culture and society from a young preacher's perspective.
I'm Jeffrey Copeland. I teach middle school history. I'm married to my wife, Selena, and I'm a student of the Bible.
And I'm Brandon Jackson. I'm married to my wife, Jess. We have 3 beautiful daughters, and I love to share the gospel with teenagers and help disciple them in their walk.
We sit down each week and have conversations about what we've learned,
what we're learning,
and what we think about current events happening around us.
Enjoy.
Hey, what up, everybody?
Hey, welcome back.
Man, back for another one. Preacher's Hour podcast with your boy, Jeff Copeland.
And Brandon Jackson.
Y'all.
We are your host. Oh, man.
We are glad you guys are here. Mm-hmm. Thank you to everybody who takes the time out of their day to check us out. And we just hope that you get even something, like one little thing, it's worth it.
Bro, it's crazy. I've been told we've been making a difference in people's lives. And one is like my cousin who just like reached out to me recently and was like, yo, like your podcast is like, it convicts me, but also like, hopefully will give me the courage to do what I need to do. So on our last episode with, what was it? So you've outgrown your church. Mm-hmm. She was like, that episode, like she doesn't want to watch the whole thing. She just watched the snippet on Instagram. And she was like, yo, I can't watch this because I feel like once I watch it, I have no excuse. Like I have to like, woo. And I'm like, yo.
There's a whole sermon in that.
Whoo.
That is funny.
I was encouraged by that, but also I have to take caution, or we have to take caution because what we say on this podcast matters, man. And I just, when it first started, I was like, no one's ever gonna listen to us.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like you're like, man, we need to get a platform. We need to get people to watch us, and then they come. You're like, oh crap.
Oh, they're here. Oh,
now we gotta be. Oh no.
So
yeah, man. So
it's a blessing, but it's also one that you really got to take care of.
It's a responsibility.
Yeah, you go.
The biggest thing, man. Like Brandon and I had the privilege to be guests on another podcast. That episode will be coming out at some point. Yes. I don't know if we'll be able to put it on our channel or whatever, but once we figure it out, once it comes out, we'll try to send it to you guys.
Yeah.
But just being on there, like really like showed me like, okay, like we really have to be wise.
Yeah.
With like what we say, what we do. We got to make sure we do our research, make sure we know what we're talking about, make sure we seek, what the Spirit wants us to say.
Yeah.
Because as our topic is today, you can end up getting canceled out here, man.
Straight canceled.
Yeah, man. So I don't know if you guys have been, checking the news out. By the time this comes out, it'll be super old news, I think. Similar, sort of old news, but somebody else will get canceled.
Somebody else gonna be canceled.
Yeah, so we'll be fine. This will be totally relevant when it comes out. But yeah. So a bunch of people have been canceled. Man, have lost their jobs, their livelihood, over certain things.
Yeah.
And I can't say. Here's the hardest part with this whole concept of cancel culture. Is like. Should there be consequences for your actions? Yes. I 1000% agree with that.
Yes, sir.
But man, from a Christian perspective, the concept of cancel culture doesn't make sense. Because if it was, everybody
gets
should
canceled.
be canceled.
There's no person on this planet.
Yeah, everybody should be canceled. Like you're not right 100,000% of the time. Like
never. You're
making mistakes. You're thinking things. You say certain things. You do certain things. You hurt people, and so especially with this, like the things that people get canceled for nowadays is some of it's really like minor. Some of it is like just a slip in judgment. But like your whole livelihood to slip over like something that's as easy as I made a mistake or I didn't know. Yeah. Like that's not even you can't even say that no more. You can't say, oh, I was unaware. No, you should have known. Yeah. How am I supposed to know this? You need to know everything. I mean, that's the hardest part about the internet is that because everybody has access to the internet, everybody feels like they're an expert on everything.
True.
And if you haven't read the article that they just read, you're an idiot. You need to get out here. Read your articles. Make sure you read
all
your
my
articles
activists out there.
Watching your documentaries on Netflix.
And I didn't watch Black Messiah, and I thought somebody was gonna, or Judas and the Black Messiah.
It's out already?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
I thought somebody was gonna come from my head. And I was
You
like,
ain't seen it? I want to see it.
I do want to see it.
I didn't know it came out already.
I just ain't took time
So
to
I haven't
watch
seen it either, as I just admitted. I'm about to get canceled.
We're all out of here. I was
Yeah.
like, you're not black if you haven't watched this movie. Shout out to Joe Biden.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. So, yeah, man. So, couple different examples of this, recent ones. Gina Carano, who's an actress on The Mandalorian. Shout out to The Mandalorian. Love that show.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, y'all pray for Brandon, man. He ain't seen it. But if you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. But she was kind of a big player, a big actor on there on the show.
I wonder how they're gonna take her off.
Yeah, she's out.
I know, but how are they gonna in the?
She died. They'll find a way. Listen, if you can recast Aunt Viv, anything can be done.
Facts, bro.
But anyway, so she's been kind of acting reckless on social media, saying certain things that go against, popular culture, and just kind of, saying stuff that you shouldn't really say. That's divisive.
Yeah.
And so she finally said something. She compared, being a conservative to, the Holocaust. There's a lot of nuance in here, guys. I'm skipping over a lot. If you want to know more, you got to do your research. There it is right there. Read your articles. But so Disney cut her. She got fired off Mandalorian. She was going to have a spinoff show that got canceled. She had to totally leave the whole Disney network. She got picked up by some other. She'll be able to make movies and stuff. So she's still going to be able to make a living. But it's just like, it's crazy. And then the one that really got me was Chris Harrison, man, the host of The Bachelor, everything Bachelor, just hilariously trash TV. My wife loved The Bachelor and Bachelorette, Bachelors in Paradise, all that. Chris has been the host for like the 20, 30 years the show's been in.
That's insane.
Running. And there was a contestant that... when she was like 19, back in 2018, she attended a plantation-themed frat party, which I didn't know was a thing. And there was a picture that came out of her at this party, and so everyone came for her on Twitter, like, oh, you're racist, blah, 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 blah. And so someone was interviewing Chris Harrison about it, and they're like, are you going to condemn her? And he was like, no, like we haven't heard from her, number one. Like, let's hear her perspective, like her side of the story. There's always two sides to every story, he said. And he basically got drugged on Twitter for not condemning this person.
That's crazy.
For one mistake that she made in her life, if you can even call it that.
As a child.
Yeah, as a teenager. And so he had to step down as the host of The Bachelor, which is crazy.
That's insane.
Like it
really wasn't even him. That's
somebody. How come you won't join us and cancel this other person? Well, you're out. You're canceled too.
That's got to be the most. And the thing is, it makes everyone else fearful of like even hinting towards like taking a stand. And yes, I do believe you got to take a stand on certain things. But if you like, why can't we wait until we have a full story before we take a stand? Like, why do you want me to take a stand right now?
We're so reactionary, and it's so like hot take. Like, you need to have an opinion right now. There's no like wait till the facts come out. Which, okay, that phrase was used a lot with the whole every time you kill a black person. Well, wait till the facts come out.
But all of a sudden,
but now it's like no facts. No. Let's go. You need to have an opinion right now.
And it's like, I don't want to have an opinion right now because my opinion could be wrong, and I could condemn someone. Well. Yeah. If it doesn't work out, and a person either is free of all charges or like acquitted.
Yeah.
Like, how do I justify myself? How do I say, oh, I made a mistake? Like, even mistakes. Cancel culture is hard because it doesn't allow people to make a mistake.
Yeah, it's like we're drifting into this society that has to be perfect, and
nobody in society is perfect.
Yeah, I think it comes from good intentions. Let me be clear. So most of cancel culture is rooted around trying to stop racism, like being anti-racist. I get that. Obviously, Brandon and I are not big fans of racism.
Neither is Josiah.
Yeah, Josiah is not either.
Nobody thinking. Yeah. Oh well, okay, you're not.
Yeah,
but what about?
Well, what about? Yeah, but so I get that. Like they're coming from a good place. They want to be anti-racist. They want to stop racism. Okay, but like to basically someone says something or tweets something or posts something, shares a meme or whatever, anything the case may be, and they do that, and it could be years ago. I mean, Kevin Hart tweeted something in 2009, and then when he was supposed to be the host of the Oscars, I think it was 2019, somebody went back, dug up this tweet about him, and he had to step down as the host.
No,
2009, bro. Like,
you're joking.
No, man, I'm telling you. Like
people don't grow. Like people don't learn.
There is zero growth. That's the problem with cancel culture. It does not leave room for any type of, like, even if you do make a mistake, even if we can all agree what you did, what you said, what you posted was wrong. Yeah. Okay. So for that, they need to be completely thrown in the trash forever. That we're done with them. Okay,
that's like sickening, bro.
That's wrong.
It's not cool.
Like, that's not okay.
Because it not only does it not leave room for people to grow, but it doesn't leave room for people to learn forgiveness. Which I think the idea is that we don't want to forgive. Like, we want to be able to say, which then we should be canceled for. But if we don't want to forgive people for the mistakes that they've made, the issue is like, okay, what do you want to receive when it happens to you?
Yes, because what's the difference between you and them? You read more articles? Like, you can easily, if we go back to your little Twitter or whatever
we can the case may be,
we can find anything.
Bro, I hope no one goes back on my Facebook post. Oh man. But it was a time when
I don't even remember what's on there.
Bro, I know there was I used to be a terrible person. Like, I'm not saying I'm not much better now, but I used to be so bad. And I remember just like always like just talking about girls on my Facebook posts and just going in on about like just dumb stuff.
Somebody's
like,
looking it up right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Facebook.
And I'm like, yo, I would look at stuff like when Facebook reminds you that you posted something, you're just like, oh God, no. Who is this person?
This 6 years ago. Oh my God, I did? Why?
Why would I put that? But I think about, like, if someone, like, I'm not that important now, but if cancel culture is a thing 20 years from now, say our podcast is huge and we got like hundreds of thousands of followers, and someone pulls us up like, oh yeah, when you were this, I'm like, no, I'm a completely different person from that time. I'm not the same person I was last year. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I can't.
6 months ago?
Like, things have changed. But the pandemic sped a lot of things up in my life, slowed a lot of things down in my life. So, to have a culture that will not accept forgiveness, will not even entertain at all. Yeah. The problem is there's going to come a time when everyone's going to be completely against each other. It's like, I don't even want to deal with other human beings. Like, let me just find an AI who's never wrong and is only there to please me and is only there to help me. And if my AI doesn't like you and if I don't like you, then cool, you can go ahead and jump off a cliff. Yeah. That's literally where we're headed.
Yeah, it's so hard because here's the crazy thing about it, right? So I'm going to get canceled for this. So the mindset or the group that's dominating pretty much social media and cancel culture is more younger, like liberal leaning people, right? And so they don't really make room for faith or like religion or like, you know, what we would call like absolute truth. Like to say, hey, this is the truth and that's it. Yeah. Right. And they're just, they're not as open to religion. Right. Okay. So
I agree.
The problem is when you have people of faith, people who believe in Jesus, who follow Jesus, we operate based on what the Bible says. Right. And so the Bible says some things that this culture is not cool with. And it's like, they're basically just sitting here like, you're going to agree with us, right? Yeah. hey, hold on now. You're going to be with us, right? If you're not,
Then
we going to take you out.
I saw a post, and I hope the person that posted, I'm not gonna say her name, but I hope that they, because I'm pretty sure they watch this. But I saw a post that said this, and I'm saying this like with all respect and love. And the post read, and I'm paraphrasing this. It read, "Show me in the Bible where it says, don't love or hang out or go to or as a Christian, to your gay son's wedding." And I was kind of like, okay, now I don't know where it is, but I'm pretty sure there's a scripture that says something to this. And I in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is on Facebook. So I'm like, I'm not going to get in a Facebook argument over this. This is freedom of speech. Say whatever you want. Totally fine.
Yeah.
But what she was getting at was these parents weren't attending their son's wedding to another man because they didn't agree with their marriage. And then so she steps forward, and she's a Christian. So she steps forward to like advocate for them. Now, I don't think that they should be harsh to their son or be like extremely like disrespectful to their son. I don't think that should be the case. I believe that he's still made in the image of God. He's going down a lifestyle that their parents or the Bible don't agree with. And that should be their choice. They don't disown him as a son. That's still his son. Now, if they were like, we don't want you, we don't need you don't ever come to us again, I don't agree with that, because that's still cancel culture.
Yes.
That's still cancel culture on a Christian,
I agree with that.
on a quote unquote Christian level. But what she was trying to do is she's trying to bring up a valid point. Like, yes, love them, but don't love the sin, or support them, don't support the sin. I totally agree. But there are things in the Bible that literally tell us how we should act and respond to things. And when she mentioned this was really a large, this is a woman who literally, like, I thought knew a lot about the Bible, who I thought had a good understanding of what the scriptures say. And when she posted that, my understanding of like what I thought she understood, it just shrunk. And I'm like, yo, maybe like a lot of things that we say as Christians have kind of got lost in the sauce, and we're not really reading our Bibles like we're supposed to. Therefore, we don't really have a ground to stand on. So anytime someone seems like they're being bullied, we just kind of like go to their defense. But the truth is, we as believers need to do our own research and say, what does the Bible really have to say about this? And then some people posted the actual scripture, and I was like, man, I don't want to be here for the comments. Like, let me just go ahead and. But I hope that she's a woman. She's a woman of God. I know she loves God, but I hope that she's a person that does want to see other people come to know who Jesus is, and not just like on a mediocre stance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, that's a lot.
It's
a lot there, because, oh man. So this is one of those things I was talking about. Like, what you just said is not going to be popular.
No.
Right? Because, like I said, the popular culture, the dominant culture of the day, doesn't want to hear what the Bible has to say.
No.
They don't. For us, the Bible is the final authority. Not that we're not going to at least entertain other, articles or theories or ideas or whatever the case may be. But the Bible is the final authority for us, right? So if it's not for you, okay. But yeah, I think the biggest issue that we see with cancel culture is that it's starting to find its way into the church. We're being influenced by other cultures, whether it be the culture of the right or the culture of the left, instead of the culture of Jesus, right? Culture of the Bible. And then, I mean, every Christian group throughout the centuries has always been influenced by their culture. Even the Israelites were influenced by culture, by outside culture, right? That's just human nature, unfortunately. And I think that's what we don't get about what God is trying to do with us, which is like, I'm going to find you where you are. You are in the world. Jesus says,
Yes.
You're in it. You're not like you're separated from it. You're still in it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm trying to change you from the inside
out. Yes.
right?
Amen.
And so this is I don't know when we're gonna get to any of this or like how we're gonna do this. This might be a short episode, guys, because there's just a bunch of stuff that I could just say really quickly.
Yeah, but I mean, I think what we want to get across, because even as I was thinking about what the main mission or the main message we want here is, I think it's really for believers, because like we can't really change the world. Like we can't change the world.
Yeah, I get what
you know what I'm saying. Like
yeah,
I'm not saying we can't change the world of believers. No, we definitely can. But we can't change how the world operates because it's not a system of God. It's the system of the devil.
Yes.
So because of that, it's always going to be a system of the devil until God comes to correct what has been corrupted. So for me, it's like the Christian, and this honestly, even to the lady who posted this, like goes out to people like this who are a part of cancel culture. But you're a Christian. I don't believe you can be a Christian and be a part of cancel culture, like willingly being a part, because everything the Bible talks about is about forgiveness, is about reconciliation,
redemption.
It's not about canceling a person. Like, what do you do when you take someone like Chris Harrison, right? You cancel him, he loses everything. Okay, now do you go present the gospel?
Yeah. All right, now you're ready.
Now you're ready to hear about Jesus and like to get back.
But do we understand that cancel culture is not Christian? Like that those two things cannot go together.
Never.
So like the goal of Christian culture is to save souls.
Yes.
Is to have them meet Jesus and be changed from the inside.
Reconciliation.
Canceling you is not going to help with that.
Never. If anything, especially if you're a Christian, it's going to make you bitter toward the church.
Well, then forget y'all. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, man. So talking to non-believers about this is very difficult. Number one, let me make this super clear too. This is probably not number one. I've tried number one like 18 times already. But social media is not the place.
Come on.
Like,
it's not.
If we can stop doing stuff on social media thinking that we are doing the work of the gospel, like we've got to chill on there.
Doesn't work.
That is not the place to express your crazy views or your unpopular views or your radical views.
It's not going to change people.
What is your goal by posting this? That's what I would love to know. That's what I would ask Gina Carano. Because Ruslan did a video on this on his podcast. It was really good. And he was like, I'm not worried about cancel culture. It doesn't bother me. I don't care because whatever. And I kind of get that. It does bother me, but I have different reasons for it. But he was just like, is Gina Carano, he goes, number one, I don't know if she's a Christian or not. She's conservative, which people automatically say she's a Christian. That doesn't mean that she's Christian.
100%.
But it's like, what is my goal with posting something? Like posting anything. What is my goal? Because if it's just to be bold or just to get this out there or rock the boat or go against the current or whatever,
what's the point?
Am I being divisive?
Facts.
Right? Am I being divisive? Now, the other side of that is, especially in our anti-racist culture, is like if something happens and you don't say anything, like they believe that silence means you're complicit.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's true.
I used to believe that was true.
I did too.
I used to be like, no, you're not gonna say nothing.
Oh, you didn't say nothing?
No, we gonna remember this.
Yeah, and it's like, hold on, like,
wait a minute.
Is me getting my phone, typing some stuff, hitting post, or resharing a meme, or whatever the case may be, is that actually doing something, or is me going out into the world, making human connections and relationships with people?
Yes.
And trying to help them see the error of their ways and love them, right? And show kindness to people who persecute me. Like, what is my goal? Is my goal to bring unity, or is my goal to like
bring division,
bash people's heads in?
Yeah.
You know, like, what is your goal?
I think what many people are, people don't understand the full weight of what cancel culture does, or even the full weight of like unforgiveness does. Because when I think about cancel culture, all I can think about is unforgiveness. Like
that's the key.
I get like, okay, this person made a mistake. Sometimes when someone makes a mistake, it is totally okay for them to be removed from where they are, especially if they're in a place of leadership. So
Carl Lentz.
Exactly.
An example. Like,
yes.
you probably shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be pastoring.
Maybe at least take a break.
Exactly.
At the very least.
I'm not even, and this is, I highly doubt that Hillsong would ever bring him back because of the culture, not because of what God has called him to.
Yeah.
Because if Carl Lentz is called to be a pastor and he made a mistake by doing like cheating on his wife, that's terrible. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean he's still not called. It doesn't disqualify him from being. He was disqualified when he got the call. Mm-hmm. Like no one who was preaching, not even Jeff and I, have the audacity to say we've earned this.
Yeah,
like we've gotten here. Like God is lucky to have us as preachers. What? Man, he will throw preachers hour so far out of eternity.
God's gonna come down and cancel preachers hour. Y'all cancel.
God has real cancel culture power.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, as a preacher, as a leader, I believe God has called me to this. Mm-hmm. If I make a mistake, I believe it is the people who are around me to make the decision if I need to step down, or if I need to stay in my position but be trained, or if I need to like take a sabbatical, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. I believe the people around me, but in cancel culture, there is no one around you. Like, you're just canceling people that you don't even know. Like, you don't even know why they said things. You don't, like with this whole thing with the girl, with the Gina Carano. Yeah. I'm like, yo, this won't. We've never heard her side. I mean, I'm sure she's spoken out now.
I mean, the problem is, like I said, the network had been warning her for a while.
Right.
She's been saying stuff.
Well, it's one thing to get fired because you've broken the policy. Mm-hmm. That's totally your fault. But then get canceled, to me, is more like, we will never accept you again.
Like you'll be like completely blacklisted in the whole industry.
And you don't come back from, even Colin Kaepernick when he took a knee.
I mean,
he got canceled then before it was a thing. Mm-hmm. And even after Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and even after all that, he's still not gonna get back into the league.
No, I mean,
it's just not gonna happen. So that time has passed, and I don't know what he does now. I think he like does advocacy and nonprofit stuff, but I'm still thinking to myself, man, that getting canceled at one point in a time, it could literally ruin everything that you had going on, and that you're probably never going to get back to that place.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean that wasn't God who like put you in your place. You know,
because she had issues with some of the co-stars. Mm-hmm. I guess there was just a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's just tough because what you do by attacking somebody and canceling them, right? You remove any chance of them listening.
Yes.
Right? There's no way that Gina's going to listen to anybody saying, hey, have you thought about it this way? Mm-hmm. Have you thought about this? Have you thought of this? She's like in defensive mode. Like, well, no, I'm just going to double down.
And we've placed you there.
Yeah. Because it's like, if you had issues, number one, let's say she posts something, say anybody posts something, right? You tweet, you post something. Me going on your comments as a total stranger who does not know you, don't know me, saying, hey, this is wrong, blah, 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 just going in on you. Even if I DM you and it's just me and you, I'm not in a position to like call you out. Yeah. I could try to be as great, but the problem is people don't come in there with grace. Right. We come in here like, oh, you're wrong.
We're going to teach you a lesson.
Yeah, I'm about to show you.
I think what needs to happen, and as this is strictly to my Christian brothers and sisters, this will help those who are not Christians. But to my Christians and brother, I believe we are mandated by Jesus himself to not just go and tell people that they're wrong, and just like you messed up. That wasn't Jesus's. It wasn't his MO in anything except for when it came to the Pharisees, because it's when there's people who think they know what they're talking about and telling other people to do things, and then them themselves are not doing it, is when Jesus calls you out. Yeah. But if you are a sinner and you were just like out there doing whatever you're doing, Jesus kicked you with prostitutes, but he wasn't like, you're prostituting and you did it, and the Lord hates this. No, he knew that. No. I think that even Jesus knew that they knew that.
Yeah, and so like this is one thing I actually preached this weekend at camp with the high school kids. It's like love is a better motivator than punishment.
Facts.
Right? So like I could tell you, hey, I can just go straight to punishment. You're wrong. This is horrible. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Jesus is like, it's not that he didn't think it was wrong. I'm not condoning what you're doing. But instead, I'm going to love you, which is going to motivate you to respond to my love.
Yeah.
You're going to not want to do these things.
Yep. 100.
It's one thing to say, here's a list of things you cannot do. You better not do them or else you're going to face the punishment. It's another thing to go, listen, I love you. I really care about you. If you care about me, you're not going to want to hurt me.
And
This is things that hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, like, I really care about you. I'm going to prove it to you first. Before I even give you the listings that hurt me, I'm going to love you so much. You're going to feel horrible if you hurt me. That's a much better strategy. People may not agree with that. A lot of people think, well, God should just not let X, Y, and Z happen. Why is he doing it that way? I wouldn't do that way if I was him. Good. I'm glad you're not him. Okay? Because it's much more of it's a much better motivator to love people, because that changes them on the inside.
100.
It changes their heart.
I had my brother, many people know, like, as a Hebrew Israelite, and I remember he was telling me a story about something that, like, my cousin had done. It was just to me it was just nonsense. And I remember, like, they were telling somebody that, like, them preaching Jesus was wrong, and then number one mistake, they did it on social media. Like, all it's gonna do is just get both sides to come into this one person's feed and just go ham, just ridiculous. But I remember thinking, man, I've only met one person who claimed to be a Hebrew Israelite who, like, to me was like a good person. Like, even if his doctrine and theology was way off, I was like, I would kick it with you, because he didn't approach the situation like, you know who you are. You don't want to live this way. You're going to be damned to hell. Like, that was the approach that I got from Hebrew Israelites. And it's like, man, this is so, like, even if you're telling the truth, I don't want to listen. Like, this is not attractive to me. And I dang on sure don't want to do this to other people. Like, that's not my personality, to go out there and just, like, bash people to get them to follow what I'm doing. But, like, this one guy, man, I think his name was Gerald. Shout out to Gerald if you out there. He was like, yo, you ever, like, think about this, and we worked at the same place, so we talked a lot. And I remember one time he invited me to his house to have to do Passover, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. But he invited me. He was like, yeah, we're gonna have lamb, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have that. I'm like, okay, this is dope. I ended up not going because at that time I wasn't really strong enough in my faith, so I was like, not really. But his invitation was what drew me in, and it was made me listen to him over and over again, and we became like friends, like legit friends. And I'm like, yo, I think I don't agree with, like, Hebrew Israelitism, but I was like, bro, if anyone is going to spread this news, this is the strategy. This is the way to do it. And I thought to myself, what a beautiful example of, like, from someone outside the regular realm of church. Now, honestly, I believe that even Gerald's understanding of the Bible at that time was just really limited. Both of ours was. But I think now, I don't know where he's at now, but whatever you're doing, bro, may God bless you in whatever you're getting into. But I hope that you find the truth in, like, Jesus. And I'm amazed at, like, how different approaches can change the trajectory of someone's understanding and life. Like, as if you approach someone as if you've done wrong and we hate you and da-da-da-da-da, in order for them to want to change, it will never, ever, ever happen. Yeah. Not ever. Yeah. But when you tell someone, hey, man, I made a kind of mistake before. Like, I know where you're going. I know where you're headed. You want to have lunch? You want to kick it for a little bit? You want to talk? When you do things like this, for my believers out there, for my Christian brothers and sisters, if you really want someone to receive the gospel, canceling them is not the way to go. If you really want them to, call them, talk to them face to face, or call them, talk to them over the phone, or talk to them face to face, so they can see you, they can know that you care. But if no one, oh man, someone told me this, no one cares what you have to say unless they know that you care about them.
No one cares what you know unless they know that you care.
Facts, that's the one. And I'm like, that makes so much sense. For us, for a Christian to have a cancel culture heart is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to back everything up we just said with scripture. Yeah. Okay. So we'll be back, guys. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
This is a commercial for Preacher's Hour.
Gotta pay the bills.
Yeah,
Our Patreon, guys. So we talked about it a little bit in some episodes, but this is the actual commercial for it. So we have a Patreon. They have a website as well as an app that you can get. And we have 2 tiers on our Patreon. If you know how Patreon works, if you watch other YouTubers, everyone has it. My brother has one. Heck of people are using them. So we have a donation tier, which is $3 a month. You don't get any extra perks. You're literally just helping us out. We just would love it.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
And then we have a $5 a month tier, and that one you would get access to our YouTube live that we will do. So we're gonna start doing. We did an Instagram live before. We're gonna start doing YouTube lives, and they'll only be for our $5 a month Patreons. And they'll be able to do like live Q&As with us, and it'll just be really interactive. So if you don't want to miss out on that, hit on our Patreon real quick. The link will be in the description of our episodes. It's patreon.com/preachershour. If you need more information, hit us up on Instagram.
Yeah, help us out.
Yeah, man. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program. All right, guys, we are back from our break.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we had a lot of cancel-worthy conversation over the break.
Clips you'll never hear.
And so just picking back up where we left off on our conversation about, I feel like a big part of where this comes from, where cancel culture comes from, is judging people. I feel like we should have the power to judge people and condemn people. And here's my thing. From a non-Christian standpoint, from a non-Christian perspective, again, what is your goal? Are you trying to just win an argument? Because I don't think it's possible to win an argument if you don't convince the person who you're arguing with that you're right.
True.
Because I just feel like, is your goal to win the person or win the argument?
Yay.
Because it's like,
Yeesh.
if I'm trying to convince you that you're wrong and I'm right, bashing you, like calling you a bunch of names in the comments, like just going in on you publicly, saying all this stuff, I don't see how that's gonna it's gotta be zero for a billion. 0 out of a billion times where people are like, they throw all this up and the person goes, oh, you know what? You're right.
It's time for me to
You
change.
convinced me. I'm joining your side now. You got me.
I don't think it's ever happened.
It doesn't. What is your motivation? Is it just like it just gives you a thrill? I don't know. I think I've done it maybe twice in my life where someone posted something and I disagreed with it, and so I voiced my disagreement, and it led to a whole bunch. And I was like, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
There's no way that this is designed to convince people. You should not be arguing with your thumbs. You just shouldn't be. Thumb arguing is just not a good strategy.
No, because it number one, they can't read your body language, and I think this is like very important in trying to get someone to believe what you are saying.
Yes.
You need to know that I'm not coming at you in a harsh way. There's no way. Even if I start this conversation off on a thread, on a comment, or on a post, and I start off with no disrespect, no matter what I say,
no matter how you preference that mug,
it does not matter. The person
disrespect. I feel disrespect.
It's gonna happen, and I think it's gonna happen because the person reading it is in a certain space that you can't see. You can't understand where you don't see what they're dealing with that day. You don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like mom could have passed away.
Off some steam.
They could be in all kind of state of mind, and you're just gonna start saying, okay, no disrespect, but you know what I'm saying?
I don't mean to be condescending, but let me condescend you real quick.
So I think that's number one. I think we have missed face-to-face contact when it comes to cancel culture. Like, it's easy to cancel someone through a screen, through an email, through whatever. It's easy to do that. But canceling someone in their presence, and then seeing like, okay, someone went to cancel us, and then they saw my kids. You're gonna think you're gonna like these, like my kids. Well, obviously not right now, but one day my kids will eat off of this podcast. And if you cancel my podcast, my children don't have food.
The problem is, if you get canceled on your podcast, you're gonna get canceled everywhere else too.
Facts, exactly.
That's
so
the thing.
And
you
then
get canceled because of this. And they're gonna, hey, who employs him? Fire him or else. Like
it goes.
They will
like,
come for everything.
Yeah, man. And it's like, if I have a family who needs me to work, and I get canceled, like okay, should I watch my words? If I said something that was reckless, okay, yes, I need to be reprimanded. I need to be, I need consequences. But do I need to be canceled because what I'm doing, and especially if I didn't mean to do it, like if it wasn't my intent to hurt a whole community of people, I was just on one.
Yeah, dude. There's this a couple weeks ago. So I have never heard of this girl. She was this like model / like artist, rapper, somebody, this girl. And she's dating this other rapper. I want to say like it's either the Baby or Lil Baby or somebody. She's dating him. She's like light-skinned girl. I think she's like some South American something. I don't know. Okay. Pretty girl. She made some song called Yellow Bone something. Terrible song. Okay. But everybody came for her because they're like, oh, you're trying to appropriate black culture and you're basically like offending people who aren't yellow bone. First of all, I never heard of yellow bone. I heard of red bone. I never heard of yellow bone.
Like light-skinned girl.
Yeah, like she made this song like being proud of like, you know, my man likes me for what I have, my skin and all this stuff. And she had to go on social media and like make this whole. First of all, she tried to like double down on it, and then people started giving her more backlashes. Then she made an apology video and was like, I didn't mean to. And I'm just like, hold on.
Wait, so this is the, okay, song being trash or not. Was she bashing other
No, she was
shades
just
of
like,
blackness?
hey, I think I'm really happy that I'm light skinned and my man really likes me. He likes what I got.
How is,
I don't know. I'm just like, hold on. Like, what are we doing out here?
gosh.
Like, we're just literally policing everybody. And
I mean, and she's not in that big time because I ain't never heard of it.
I don't remember her name. She's not a good artist. I have to just keep working on your stuff, girl. Just keep practicing, keep doing your thing. You know, you're gonna get there. Yeah. But anyway, I'm just like, why do we feel like we have to have an opinion on everything? Just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling. You know, I don't like this.
Go.
No, I don't like this. They need to know.
Which is weird because I remember when
Dislike button.
I remember when the dislike button was out on YouTube, because at first it was like a thumbs up button and then the dislike button came. And I remember the controversy, like why? Why is there a dislike button? Like why can't people just hate to be hating?
Yeah.
And I think it was something about like, you know, for the content creator to know that people are like, because
They didn't like what you just did.
yeah, so you know you can. It was supposed to help the content creator. Obviously, I guess it could help. I don't think it really does. I think it's
Just
pointless.
made the culture more toxic.
Yeah, but the problem is when you have the option to be hateful, people are gonna do it. Like if I could do something if you said something that hurt me, I want to hurt you back naturally.
Mm-hmm.
You said something that hurts me, I want to hurt you back. And I find this with Amazon reviews. Like some Amazon reviews are helpful. Like, okay, cool.
yeah.
But some of them are like, some of the bad ones are really, really bad. And I'm just like, this is not helpful for the person who's creating this thing.
It's not helpful for the producer. It's not helpful for the consumer.
No.
You're not helping anybody.
You're not helping. You're just spreading hate.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, where does this motivation come from? Where does it come from that people want to just be so?
It definitely comes from our sinful nature. And obviously a non-believer wouldn't rock with that. They don't understand that. But that's where it comes from. We just have to not give in to that urge, because that's our natural go-to.
Yeah.
Is to, okay, I'm going to follow up hate with more hate.
Yeah.
And so this point I want to go to, and then we'll read some scripture. I put a bullet point. Heart change versus peer pressure. Like, I'm really getting, from a racial standpoint, I'm really getting tired of this concept. Because the only reason ABC got rid of Chris Harrison is because they were worried that they're going to look racist. Not because they believed that what he did or didn't do was wrong.
Yeah.
Right? We are all about the bottom line, money. Disney's like, we don't want to lose revenue.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna fire Gina. Not because we think what she said is wrong, but because we are afraid of the court of public opinion.
Because they don't want to get canceled. Imagine if Disney got canceled.
Okay, people were trying to. I think the conservative side of people were trying to cancel Disney. No, I'm sorry. Mandalorian's too good, guys. I'm not.
WandaVision is too good. I don't know what to tell you. Listen, wait till they done with them shows, then you guys go ahead. But let me watch my shows first, okay?
But it's possible. I mean, there have been businesses that have went out of business that have went out of business because of the peer pressure that like you didn't bend when we told you to.
Yes.
Therefore, we're not going to deal with you no more.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's room for that. Like there's room to say.
I mean, I'm not saying that there's never a time where if a business is like causing harm to people.
Yes.
Right? Like it's intentionally like being racist or like intentionally spreading hate. Even after people say, hey, this is wrong. They're like, we don't care. At that point, let's not support this business.
Exactly.
Right? You go back to the civil rights movement and the bus boycott.
Yeah.
Okay. The buses were doing something that was really mean and messed up to people. It was pointed out. They didn't want to correct it.
Yep.
So then people stopped supporting them. They boycotted the buses. They used peer pressure in that sense, economic pressure, to get them to change the laws. Now, that's great, right?
Fantastic.
Did people stop being racist?
No.
No. Did the bus companies have a heart change?
Not at all.
And go, you know what? We shouldn't be mistreating people because of the color of their skin. This is wrong. No. They said, we're losing money. So we need to make sure we do something. That didn't change the bus driver's view of black people. That didn't change the bus company's view. So we're not changing people's hearts.
Come on.
And that should be our goal.
Come on, Jeff.
Heart change is the
boy
goal.
preaching.
Okay? This is really bothering me.
I remember it was bothering you when I think it was FIFA did the Black Lives Matter thing.
Doing the George Floyd thing, man. I turned my Xbox on to play some FIFA, and it's like, hey, Black Lives Matter. Man, y'all don't think that, EA. Get out of here.
And
you're just following the wave right now.
Yeah, and even for me, because I was so like when I saw it on Call of Duty, I was like, oh, let's go. And then I talked to you, and then I'm like, oh yeah, because if they didn't do this, you people. Maybe not a lot of people, but a good majority of their revenue would be hurt if they didn't stand for.
Or they thought that.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was like tweeting, sure waiting for EA to respond. I'm waiting for Activision or I haven't heard from the makers of Call of Duty yet about this subject. Why should you care? They make a video game where you shoot people. Like, who cares?
Making videos of shooting people.
Why does FIFA have to do? Why does EA have to do? Why?
Unless they're literally trying to make a change, and there are some companies,
or they're trying to get attention.
Yeah.
Say, hey guys, we're jumping on. Hey, look at us. Oh, okay, let me buy your product.
Yeah.
Your motivation is not because your heart feels bad about this. At least I can't say for sure.
I mean, there's been a few companies, and I don't know the names of them, but I've seen companies that have literally like done like trainings and things like that. So even like. And this might be a shot. That's not really a shot, but you can take it however you want to. But Starbucks.
Oh yeah,
Starbucks. Yeah. So after they did. So, but they even did it after the guys were arrested.
Yeah.
In the Starbucks. In Philadelphia. Yeah. So that was like someone saw that CEO, someone in up top was like
closed all the stores.
They were like
they lost money
in order to teach people
to do that.
Right. And now I think that was a great move.
I think that's a great move. The fact that you're like, look, you can't argue that this is motivated by money. Now you could say, okay, if we don't do this long term, we're going to get canceled. People aren't going to support our product. But to close down all your stores nation, they have every Starbucks on every dang corner.
Come on,
I can only imagine how much money they lost to train your employees, and that was back before BLM was popular,
for sure.
Because when you go back to 2015, 2016 and Cap, like. Nike was doing what was not popular by sticking with him. Everybody, the whole culture was like, no, man,
Cap,
forget that. Right? It was very small. And it wasn't like mainstream all over the world like the whole George Floyd thing started, where it got to where this is actually the majority now. If you're not with us, you're on the wrong side, quote unquote. Right? So I give Starbucks credit for that. But again,
because I think they were trying to, I think they were definitely trying to make a heart change.
Yeah, they were. At least it looks that way. Yeah. And I'm not mad at that. I don't know your heart. Only God knows that. But at least you guys are doing it. It wasn't a reaction to the culture. They were kind of ahead of the wave in that sense, right? And so it's just like, guys, what do you think you're accomplishing by making everybody afraid to
make a mistake,
to say something, right? So you're basically just saying like, hey, you just have a gun at everybody, like don't do it, instead of this is going to sound crazy. I almost want people to mess up, say something racist, do something racist, to leave an opportunity for growth. So we can say, hey, so this what you just did, it's kind of offensive. Like, have you thought about
that?
How people who, X, Y, and Z would feel about this?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I was caught up because social media trained us to just be self-focused and only care about us
Social
and
dilemma.
our feelings, right? We need opportunities to break people away from just thinking about themselves and having more empathy. Empathy is going down in our country because of social media and the internet. And so we need to actually have opportunities to teach empathy. So I'm almost like,
we need more people to mess up so that we can show,
like the country singer that I don't know the dude's name.
Oh, yeah.
Dude's in his own house, drunk, getting recorded, says the N-word. I have not seen anything about it, to be honest. I don't know what he said. I don't know what the context was.
Yeah.
I didn't hear him say it. Homie's in his house.
That's the only thing that was messing me up.
He's in his own home.
What's his name? Morgan Wallen.
Okay, yeah, I would never know. I don't know.
Morgan Wallen. Yeah, he was actually big time. But even still, so the whole thing, Morgan Wallen is super young. Not super young, but he's 27. But he's been in trouble with the law and had a alcohol problem since he was 18 years old. So
oh wow,
he's been on he's been sober for a little bit, but just overall his life is
he needs
it's more
help.
than just the N, and that's why I'm like,
your number one concern should not be
you canceled him because he said the N-word at his own house, but then you didn't look at everything that he was going through. And that's my thing was okay, cool, cancel him, don't cancel him. I wish you wouldn't. I wish you would address the larger elephant in the room. You're looking at this model of an elephant, this 2-inch elephant, when the real problem is he has an alcohol addiction.
Yeah, he has a problem. His view of my skin color is the least of my concern. I care about him, the person.
I honestly, after watching a couple of his videos from before and after the incident, I don't think he's racist at all.
Yeah,
I was just he has black friends. I'm not saying that makes you not racist, but he socializes with black people often. He's done music with black people, and I'm I can't see him I can see people saying the N-word who are not racist. I had some Mexican partners who used the N-word. I had some white friends who thought they used the N-word around me.
Here's the problem with racism is that we're so confused on this. I'm even confused on this. You can do racist things. I don't know if that being a racist, meaning that is who you are in your core.
Yeah,
I think it's something totally different. Because it's one thing to be oh man, I was inebriated. Now you could say, well, that's what's in him. It came out. The alcohol brought it out. It took away his inhibitions, and the real him came out. You could totally say that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's not true. Okay, even if that is true, how are we helping him not be racist anymore? How are we helping him change his heart, change his views of black people if he is racist?
Yeah.
Tell me how canceling somebody is actually changing them, making people. How is it reducing the number of racists in our country?
I think all it's going to do is make them, especially if they really are racist, it just makes them
hiding.
more but they'll go under. But the thing is, if you watch any, or even if you've been reading the Bible, but if you watch any movie that has to do with revenge, it's the one person who lived through the ordeal. Whole family was murdered. The one child who remembers what happened grows up to kill the person that did it. All you do by canceling someone is you put them under the ground like a seed, and then you think they're dead, but they're just buried. And then eventually they sprout up and they grow roots and they're bigger. They come back and they're just worse than they were before. So if you take a racist and you cancel him or her, I don't think you're solving the problem. You're just delaying the inevitable, but the inevitable is going to be way worse.
Come back stronger.
Way stronger. You think QAnon is bad now. Let something happen to where they all got to go underground. Now they got time to strategize to come up.
They're going to come out and do a terrorist attack,
No, I'm
storming
telling
the
you.
Capitol. Oh, wait, that already happened? Oh, sorry.
Storming the White House. I'm just we canceling people, not changing their heart, peer pressuring them into leaving, all that kind of stuff is not the, especially for the believer.
Yeah.
Your job is your one job is tell them about Jesus. Give them the gospel. Give them the good news. Yes, this happened. You got canceled. I am so
this was
sorry.
wrong. Number one, what you did.
Like what you did was terrible. And even what they did to you was terrible.
Yes.
But look, I'm here to tell you about someone who will never cancel you, who will always be there, and who will also correct you when you're in the wrong, but not in a way that the culture did.
He will redeem you. He will restore
Come
you.
on.
He's not just going to leave you where you were. He's going to
No.
restore you. So let's look at some scripture before we run out of time.
Man.
Okay, so I'm going to come from Proverbs 11, 27, 29, and 30. Okay. So 27. Whoever diligently seeks good seeks favor or acceptance. Okay. Whoever diligently seeks good seeks favor, but evil comes to him who searches for it. Okay. So if I'm really trying to seek the good of not just me, but others, I'm trying to seek good for others, right? I am naturally going to seek to gain their favor.
Amen.
Not be a people pleaser.
No.
That's not what I'm saying. But I really want to win you. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to offend you. I don't want to push you away. Right? I'm seeking good, diligently, good for you and for me, for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm looking for evil, I'm going to find it.
Man.
If I'm trying to be divisive or just be talking reckless
it's there.
or just whatever, I'm going to find it. I'm going to get that backlash. Verse 29. Whoever troubles his own household will inherit the wind, and the fool will be servant to the wise of heart. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and whoever captures souls is wise. So there's a lot of wise and foolish in here, right? What is your motivation? If my motivation is to capture souls, to be righteous, to win people, that's wisdom. If I'm trying to just be foolish out here, just saying whatever, divide people, I'm not caring about people's feelings or trying to be empathetic or trying to love people. I'm not saying compromise the truth.
Not at all.
But I really do care about the person. Even if I disagree with them, I care about you. I'm trying to win you, not an argument. Okay? Righteous, I'm going to bear fruit. It's going to happen. I'm going to bear fruit. I'm trying to use God's wisdom.
Amen.
Right? So we've got Christians, when it comes to trying to cancel somebody, come on now. Let's think about this here.
Yeah, you got to be in your word, man, because even I think one of our main goals for spreading the gospel is in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, starting at verse 18, and it says, and all of this is a gift from God who brought us back to himself through Christ. And God has given us this task of reconciling people to him. For God was in Christ, reconciling the world to himself, no longer counting people's sins against them. And he gave us this wonderful message of reconciliation. So our whole goal is to get people to get reconciled to God. If someone is going to sin, if someone is going to mess up, if someone's going to make a mistake, it is not our job to cancel them as believers. I don't care. Gay, straight, trans, off the wall, off the mark, rude, racist. Our job is not to cancel them. My pastor said something really, really awesome today. And she was at, we were filming her a sermon and something else. And she had told me, I was like, hey, how'd your Valentine's Day go? She's like, oh, it's good. We didn't really do much, but we ordered from this place and the food was no good. And she's like, basically said her complaints. And I was like, oh man, what place is this? She was like, oh, I'm not gonna tell you. And I was like, what? She's like, well, I'm gonna cause division. Like, I'm not gonna tell you what place this was.
You might like
because
it.
Exactly. She was like, I'm not gonna mess up their reputation just because I didn't like it or I didn't have a good experience. It could have been 1,000 reasons why I didn't have a good experience. But like, I won't order from them for a while. But she even said like, and they're young, so I'm gonna wait until they kind of get their things together and then I'll order again. And I'm like, okay, but who was it for real? And she was like, I'm not telling you. And at that point, I was like, dang, like, this is what it means to be reconciled. Like, she's not trying to bash someone.
What if they want to come to church? And then it's like, oh, you gave us a bad review.
I'm like,
what's my ultimate goal?
What's my motivation? Like, what's the goal? What's the motivation? When you have those two things, if you are trying to cause division, then everything we've said doesn't matter. If that's your goal,
then
you're doing you.
If you want to search for evil, you're gonna find it.
It's coming. It's there and it's waiting for you. I think that's in Genesis. It's like sin lays at the door and waits.
Yeah, lies at the door and waits
to devour you. To
Mm-hmm.
devour you. Oh, you want to get devoured? Don't worry.
Go on.
You're gonna be somebody's dinner. Sin is coming. But if you seek to win souls, if that's your job, if that's what you really hope, if you have a friend, a loved one, a brother, a sister who's out there struggling with life, from your perspective, they're struggling with life, and from the Bible perspective, they're struggling with life, then you have an obligation to reconcile them to God. That's the message we've been given. And I don't care what Christian you are, baby Christian, or you've been in the game for 100 years, you don't have the right to cancel anybody. I just want to get that out.
If God's not going to do it, if Jesus doesn't do it, you cannot do it. Only Jesus has the right to judge, and he's not going to do that till the end.
You don't
need to get a head start.
God, well, just let me help you out. I got this one.
I can judge this guy.
I always think about the woman who was caught in adultery in the book of Luke. And the way that Jesus handled that situation was homegirl in the wrong. Absolutely.
Yeah, and he acknowledged that. Then sin no more.
He was not going to let her off the hook. But did he condemn her?
No, I don't condemn you. Okay? Go and sin no more.
Go and sin no more. I find that to be the Spirit of God wrapped up in Jesus, displayed for us in that story. You can't really get a better story than or a more vivid picture of what God is trying to do through Christ. I do not condemn you. Where are your accusers? Oh, no one's here? Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. Yes, you made a mistake. Yes, you messed up. Yes, I could cancel you and send you into hell right this second, but I'm not, because I love you.
And how much more powerful and much more of a motivator for change is me doing that. She's like, her life and everyone she came in contact with was never the same.
Never the same. I can only imagine what happened when she left and she goes home. And first of all, you got to remember, this woman was naked. Yeah. It wasn't like she was fully dressed in the story.
Another thing, where's the dude?
Yeah.
Hold on. He's not in trouble? We're just going to kill her? Where the dude at?
Yeah, I was
out there waiting? Okay, this is what they come here every Thursday.
Thinking, they even set it up.
She comes here every Thursday. Okay, here we go.
So it just shows the wickedness of the Pharisees and people were getting. But all that aside, this woman literally left that place. She had got caught in a shameful act, was placed in front of people in a shameful manner with no clothes on in front of the whole people were about to stone her. And then she is released from her sin by Jesus to go live on purpose. And I can only imagine her leaving that spot, going to put some clothes on, and then going telling everybody y'all won't believe what happened. Especially, this is what I love about this story. If she was a wayward woman, she probably knew some other wayward women. I can only imagine what that story did for them. That story probably wouldn't go well in the church. To tell that story in church probably wouldn't go well. Everybody would look at you like you still a sinner. But if you told that to your friends who were sinning with you, they would be like, yo, wait, who was this dude? They were going to kill. It wasn't like they didn't know what was going on in that time period. They didn't know.
It was in the law.
It wasn't like they was like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen.
It's in the law.
They knew 100% what was going to happen. So for her to even come back and say, they were about to stone me, and this dude showed up and told me to leave and not sin no more, and everyone walked away, and I'm here today to tell you, that kind of excitement can't be contained.
And they're all going to learn from that. And
you can only see the beautiful possibilities of that story.
Yes.
You can't see the downfall. But if Jesus was to tell her in that moment, I condemn you, and she is killed.
Take her out, guys. Where's my stone?
Where's my stone? Let me throw this. But even in the way he did it, no one even had the gall to, someone could have threw the stone, but I'm pretty sure they'd have dropped dead. But I always think about that story. The way he set it up, it was not to cancel a person for their mistake. It was to redeem them and to put them on a path that is going to elevate God, number one, but also to elevate them into the person and position they're supposed to be in. So that's my heart. It's always been my heart. And I pray that is your heart as well. I hope that Christians, real Christians, want to reconcile rather than divide.
Amen. Well, hopefully we don't get canceled for this, guys. We appreciate you listening. If we're off, instead of canceling us, tell us.
Talk to us.
Yeah, man, tell us. And the dislike button don't count.
Yeah, because it doesn't really give us any insight. We don't know who you are or what we did wrong.
Tell us in detail with love and grace and respect, because we're not perfect.
Yeah, and we're not the type of people that will like bash. Like
we want to hear your side, because we care about you, the person.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
We're not here to win an argument. We're here to win people. You dig? All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see y'all in the next one.
All right, peace.